right, Beer Night followers, this is the music segment for episode 17 of Beer Night.
Music.
And we are talking new metal music.
Something special.
We got something special. This is not Ryan. This is Chris. We're talking new metal music.
We got something special here.
Yes. What are we doing? This is your idea.
Yeah. So, I figured maybe we could kind of poach on the reaction thing a little bit. We tried to do some reactions early on.
We did, yeah.
But so there's a new EP that just came out that I find really interesting. Mm-hmm. It's by Kirk Hammett, who's the lead guitar player from Metallica. You've probably heard of.
Maybe
we've talked about on this channel a few times.
Dave Mustaine's been.
So yeah, that's what the interwebs would have you believe.
He has a solo. Kurt Hammett put out a solo.
He did.
Or
he did.
EP, right?
Yeah, I guarantee you it smokes Dave Mustaine's solo EP. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Actually, Dave has a lot of solo albums. They're called Megadeth.
Yes.
Anyway, so I find this really interesting.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm really excited to listen to it. I've been holding off. We're holding off. This is going to be a genuine reaction. Never listened to it before until now. So you're going to get a real reaction. Hopefully you guys are interested in listening to it as well, because you can listen to it along with us. I'm really interested to see what the fuck's going on here, because this is strange. I've read a lot about this EP and this project and kind of what he wanted it to be, and I'm really interested to hear how it shakes out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Interesting. Beers in hand. This is gonna be 27 minutes long of an EP that he put out.
Maybe with a little talking.
Maybe a little talking in between. We'll see how this goes. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Enough talking for now. We're gonna get right into Kirk Hammett's
and we'll check in every now and again and talk
so
about
we might pause here and there, maybe after a song or something like that. We'll pause,
or in the middle of
the song. Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go. Hopefully, you guys enjoy our reaction to Kirk Hammett's solo project, Portals. Right? Is that what it's called? Portals.
Portals.
There it is.
Yes.
So here we go.
It's exciting.
Very interesting. A little bit of violin.
Right, that's pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, pretty little cool intro.
Like that harmony.
Little harmony right there, yeah, that's nice.
It's cool. Interesting.
I like the background. It's very, very subdued.
Very dark.
Very kind of just little quiet. random thing right there.
Definitely a slow burn.
Yeah, it is. Very slow.
You feel like it's building to something, though.
So it sounds like right here it's about to build.
Kind of Middle Eastern feel. Bass is really heavy.
It is, yeah.
Really
Bass
heavy
is
bass.
heavy bass.
It's cool.
Yeah, a little heavy right here. Not bad.
That's really cool.
I'm guessing next song here.
Is that the next song? I don't know. Yes, it is. Pause it.
We're gonna take a little pause here. What do you think so far, huh?
So interesting.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting. Different.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of read a lot of like how he talks about what he wanted this to be, and so it makes sense because it is very, very cinematic, which is kind of what he always said. He
Sounds
wanted
very
to be.
cinematic.
Like
yeah.
it was envisioned it as kind of soundtracks to sections of movies and stuff like that, and it makes sense because especially the way that built right there, it built up. And was just very kind of dark and ominous.
Yeah,
and
it
just kind of
was, yeah.
slowly built to kind of a crescendo that was really cool. And it's not so much a song per se, as it just kind of felt like a musical.
It sounds
section.
like a musical section, like in a movie.
Yeah,
it does. It does feel that way,
and that's hence the cinematic aspect of it. So, it really interesting and really well composed, by the way.
Yeah.
Really, really well composed. So, little remnants of, I guess you could say remnants of Pink Floyd in there, but darker.
There's a little bit.
It was kind of darker, more ominous, more foreboding.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I want to hear more. Ready to go?
I want to see where it goes next. Yeah.
Ready to go? All right. Yeah. Well, here we go. This sounds like Pink Floyd a little bit.
It's almost like the lead takes the place of the vocals.
Yeah, I mean, guitar solo album, yeah. Like a violin, or is it like
it's just an effect? It's just an effect. A chorus effect.
Yeah.
There's your strings.
Yeah, I hear the strings.
That's really cool right there.
It is.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Fly of the Bumblebee a little bit.
Proggy.
Oh, yeah. A little proggy right there. Kind of a little bass there. I wonder if that's he's playing the thing on the guitar. Yeah. Yeah, like Jimmy Page. Alright.
Interesting way to end that song.
Yeah.
So that one, strangely enough, I felt like was more of a song per se.
Yeah, the first
because it wasn't as atmospheric. It was more like a jam, I guess.
Yeah.
So an instrumental song, if you will. Whereas the first song was more atmospheric and kind of foreboding.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of just more like a jam. Like it kind of went somewhere and kind of looped back
around
to certain themes and stuff like that.
I thought like it was really cool with the the background music, the violins and cello or bass, whatever it's going on in the background. Really cool. And at a point it got a little heavy, like felt a little basic, but then it went a little proggy, like right after that basic part. It like got off time, and it was kind of
the
weird.
There was that part was just meant to be kind of like a jump.
Yeah, like a jump. That's what it felt like too, like a little
headbang
jump.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like almost a break in kind of the madness at the beginning and the end, because it did feel like one thing that was cool about that song is it kind of felt like it was. I still have my headphones on. Felt like it was kind of like it kind of had that feeling of like teetering, like almost like going off the rails.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing in music sometimes. You want to have like you're riding the ragged edge, so to speak. Like it's like there's like this edge to it where you just feel like it's kind of, again, use that metaphor again, about to go off the rails, right? And so I felt like that part kind of brought it, honed it in a little bit. It was kind of like, okay, let's calm down for a minute. But one thing I want to say about that too is because it did get heavier. I feel like the production here is pretty modest.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's one of the things that always struck me and that I've always liked about Metallica albums is there's such a punch to it.
Yeah,
such a punch. It's so nasty and angry sounding. Compared to a lot of their peers, especially like the easy comparison is always Megadeth, right? So Megadeth's albums always sounded a little subdued production-wise to me, a little weak, not musically, but production-wise. It just didn't have the same punch and kind of grab you by the fucking balls and scream in your face and just that kind of edge.
Could it be because do you listen to music through your headphones a lot, or you usually listen to music in your car?
I listen to music all over, but it's not that. I'm not talking about like the nuances, obviously, you can hear more in headphones. I'm talking about the overall mix. The guitars are mixed down.
They kind of are,
which is different from Metallica, right? Usually Metallica, the guitars are way out front, super loud and crisp and bright and punch you in the face, which I like. Here, they're a little bit. It's a little bit more modest. It's a little bit more modest.
Lower,
so when it gets into the heavy, distorted guitars, like you
don't
hear that.
Doesn't grab you.
You know why? I know why.
Why?
I know why.
Why?
Because James Hetfield is not present on this recording. If James was here, then
where's my guitar sound?
Exactly. Can we boost the guitars, please? And I love it. Hey, fucking, I listen to James play guitar loud as a motherfucker for the rest of my life. And be
what's that? Is that Danny Trujillo? Can you turn him down just a smidge?
I think his name is Robert.
Or Robert.
Not Danny.
Why did I say Danny? Robert Trujillo. I can't hear my guitars over his bass. I don't know.
So yeah, I noticed that when it got heavier, it's like the guitars are strangely subdued. They're not as punchy. It almost sounded, a little. Like,
you're not
watered down almost. Not in a bad way. It was just different. Like, again, I would make the comparison when you listen to something super punchy, like I don't know, what always immediately pops in mind is like the heavy part of Fade to Black, right? The guitars coming in super, super punchy. You compare that to like a Megadeth album where the guitars sound a little bit more watered down. And just they don't have that flair, that kind of like, whoa, like they kind of like slap you in the face type thing. And here, it's kind of like that. It doesn't slap you in the face, but it almost kind of serves it a little better because the music is so kind of out there and kind of atmospheric. So it doesn't need to be super punchy. It was just an observation. It's just like, because obviously we're associating him with Metallica. The production is definitely different.
Well, let's keep going.
Yes.
We got more to go.
We do. Holy shit, this is cool.
Oh, way different.
This is really cool already. Whoa. This is cool. Wow.
Got a lot of cool nuances. It's not Lars on the snare, right?
It's Barry Morricone, Ecstasy of Gold.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. It is.
Pure spaghetti western.
Yeah, this sounds like a western.
Yeah. tasty.
Very tasty. Very.
Yeah. It was really cool.
That is definitely like a Western feel to
well,
it,
so it's
sure.
called High Plains Drifter, right?
Yeah,
Which is a Clint Eastwood Western. So, you know, the correlation there is very easy to see.
Easy, yeah.
I feel like musically that was probably the most satisfying one so far. I don't know. It's tough to say. The second track was really good, but it just felt like a little bit more of a ride. Like, I don't know.
A little more like, what do you mean variety? Like
a ride, I said.
Oh, right.
Like it's just there was more of a flow, I guess. Like it
flowed a little bit better.
I think so. I don't know. You're gonna have to listen to it more than once to really digest it that way. But it just upon first impression, I don't know. I felt like there was just a little bit more. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on there, and in the other songs too. But for some reason, that one just felt like a little bit more entertaining, I guess, for lack of a better word.
I mean, the guitar melody is a lot more catchier. I think that's a lot more catchier song. Maybe that's why it feels a little bit more entertaining and maybe a little bit more upbeat than the other two that we've listened to a little bit.
Still pretty dark.
It's pretty dark as well.
Yeah. Has that dark kind of ambient feel.
The little guitar solo sounded really good.
Yep.
Right there.
Super clean.
It was really good. Digging it so far. It's not bad so far. I mean, I think this third song, the second and third song are definitely like, you got to figure out which one's better. The first one so far was just kind of like maybe building to what's going on now, maybe.
It was cool. Like, it was a really cool introduction to what was to come.
What's to come,
so I think it set the stage pretty well. It just, it was very, it reminded me of there's, you know, some, I think of like Pink Floyd, The Division Bell, right? When you have the opening song, which is really cool and atmospheric, but it's really just kind of setting the stage for what's to come.
The next song,
but it's still super listenable because there's a lot of cool things that happen in there. It's just more of a atmosphere building thing and not as much of a song. So that's kind of what similar to the first track on this as well.
Get back into it. The last
we got one left. We got one left.
Yep.
We got one
Here
left.
we go.
Okay.
Feels like this part's like a going back, like a reprise. Oh, we're getting heavy.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
You wanted to kick in. Took a turn.
Almost a little jazzy there.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern, yeah.
Really interesting. Really cool.
Screaming right there.
That's cool. That was cool.
At the end, huh?
That was cool.
Well, what'd you think, Chris? Huh? The whole album.
I really enjoyed that. I think I'm gonna go on a limb, and I think the last track is definitely the best.
It was really good. The last track was good. The Middle Eastern part was pretty cool. I liked the background music to it as well. I didn't. It's not that guitar heavy though. Like,
no, it's not.
It's not very guitar heavy.
It's kind of what I was alluding to with the second track by saying when the guitars did come in heavy, it was still kind of laid back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like it was kind of, there was a conscious effort to kind of let everything else breathe.
Yeah.
And kind of have more than, let me get these up. than just heavy ass guitars in there, which served it really well because it wants it to be cinematic, right?
Yeah, it's like very cinematic.
Exactly, and it's almost like it's telling a story. And like I mentioned in one part, when the leads come in, it's almost like they're taking the place of vocals or almost or even like voiceover, like narration. Like you picture like someone narrating a story, but it's a lead guitar, and that's really cool. And that's something that has always been unique to Kirk. He's always had a really good voice when it comes to lead, because that's primarily what he does, right? You know, the rest of the voice of Metallica is James and Lars, with some contributions from Kirk here and there. But then other than that, his leads are his primary voice, right? And he's always
it's always leads.
His leads have always had so much personality. And like you could sing along with them. They're instantly recognizable. They never get out of your head. You memorize, like you know all of his leads. They're not some some bullshit Slayer or Megadeth lead in track 5. Like it's like every fucking lead, every song, and that's important, right?
It is very much so.
So I feel like here he kind of uses that kind of musicality to kind of speak a little bit, because he really can't sing, and thank God, because sometimes I would much rather hear a guitar player than hear just another fucking singer, because we have plenty of goddamn singers. Every record, everybody thinks we got to throw a fucking singer in there to say something and spell it out for us in plain English, when, you know what, sometimes it's better just let the fucking music breathe, and I feel like that's what we have here.
Well, fuck.
Long story short.
Good Lord. Have you checked out John 5's guitar
I've heard
instrumentals or solos?
I've heard it. No, I haven't sat down and listened to it like this. But yeah, I've heard it. But that's totally different.
It is very different.
Because you're talking about neoclassical shred, right? This is so not that.
No, this is definitely like almost musical as like theater almost.
Yeah, very absolutely. And that's what makes it cool. Like it's so it's different. It's not a guitar record. It's not a shred record.
No, it's not.
It's not like, it's more about like letting the music breathe and just giving space to everything and creating an atmosphere. And it's pretty unique because of that. Because what music does that? Pink Floyd is the easiest comparison, right? We always talk about Pink Floyd creating atmosphere, right? They let their music breathe.
Dream Theater, maybe.
Dream Theater does it at times.
At times, that's not all the time.
Then they get super busy at other times. So, but what makes Dream Theater great is it can go back and forth. And so, from that dichotomy aspect, it's cool to have this juxtaposed to Metallica, which is very busy music as well, right? It's always doing something. Like it's always on the go. It's a freight train in your face. This is not. This is very much lay back, let the music breathe. Even when it got the heavier parts in the second song, and even in the last song a little bit got slightly heavy towards the end.
You get a little bit of head nods,
It was still very kind of airy, for lack of a better word, and it's still kind of, it just breathed a lot. There was a looseness there, and the music was still tight, but there was a looseness to the feel that it didn't feel like it was trying. There wasn't a sense of urgency. And by the way, I love that about Metallica's music. I love that sense of urgency, that freight train going. Like there's an energy and an attitude there. But sometimes it's refreshing to hear the other side of the coin, especially from someone who's in the band, right?
Because so different.
It's different.
So different.
It's different.
First listen to, first reaction. You want to give it like a little rating first time hearing it through? I guess we can do our tier rating, star systems or whatever. 5.
It's a 4 out of 5 to me. It's 4 out of 5. It could. I like to give things at least 3
tries,
if not 4 listens before I really form a final verdict. Because there's some people out there that will say if it doesn't grab you right away, and this did grab me right away, by the way. But just in general. Some people that say if it doesn't grab you right away, it must not be very good. I beg to differ. There are plenty of things that grew on me over time that became some of my favorite shit ever. And so if it didn't grab me right away, I would lose one of my favorite things ever. No, fuck that. Like if it grows on you, great. Then that means it's still good in its own way. This, I feel like it could go either way, honestly. I could get more appreciation out of it the more I listen to it, or the more I listen to it, I could be like, it was a cool experiment, and now I'm done.
No, you're done with it.
But as it stands right now, I think it's a solid 4 out of 5.
Solid 4.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really well done, musically interesting record. It really is. Like it's even the moments in time which we can't really touch on too much, because there was a lot of them. To be honest, there was a lot of moments where we're like, "Whoa, what's going on there?
What's going on here? What's that?
What's that? It's like it's cool.
There's a lot of moments like that,
and nothing was out of place. It was all meticulously in there for a reason, to create the atmosphere, to create the feeling. And that's the best compliment I can give, is a super atmospheric, which you just do not hear a lot of in music these days, because atmospheric bands are...
You can find those if you want, but they're just not just super popular. I mean, they're not out there as much.
And there's plenty of bands that have moments, and we talk about Deftones, right? Like Deftones has a lot of atmospheric moments, but it doesn't get deep like this does. Like this is, like we talk about, super theatrical and cinematic. And it's all about creating the atmosphere. It's not like, oh, we're gonna have this one section of a song that has some little atmosphere in it. Like, no, it's the entire thing is all about creating atmosphere. So it's very, very cool from that aspect.
I'll give about 3.5 right now. I could lead towards 4, as you alluded to. I'm not a big instrumental fan, so like it's.
What do you mean? You like instrumentals?
Here and there. Yeah.
I thought you liked them more.
No,
didn't we do a top 5 instrumental?
That's my buddy Ryan. My buddy Ryan is big instrumental fan.
So he would like this, probably.
Yeah, he probably would love this.
But didn't we do a top 5?
We did with Ryan because he was here with us.
Okay.
That's why we did it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm a vocalist. I like to hear voices.
Fuck singers.
But
fuck them.
This is pretty good. I enjoy the atmosphere. I enjoy the way it builds, and it feels like a movie and everything. I enjoy that.
You don't like instrumentals, yet you like Pink Floyd and Dream Theater.
Well, because
20-minute long instrumental sections.
I don't. Well, but then vocals come in.
Well, but sure, you still have 20-minute long instrumental sections where you're not like, oh, where's the vocalist? You're like,
it's just because it's everywhere. It's there and here and there and gone. But it's not bad. I enjoy it. This is a good reaction. Hopefully, we didn't go terribly too long.
By the way, when you say stuff like it's not bad, it's not exactly a ringing endorsement.
Oh no.
It's not 3.5 out of 5. Not bad is like
not bad.
2.5. 2.5.
I'm gonna give it good. I'm good. I'm good with it. It's good. It's very.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see how I continue to enjoy it upon repeat listens. It's really cool. Like it's really cool just from a musical standpoint.
I think
because
there's
it's very different.
Just so many different things going on in it, and I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting a little bit more. Like heaviness, maybe a little bit more riffs. It was not there at all.
Not there at all.
So maybe that kind of my expectation kind of dwindled it a little bit, but I mean, it was still really good.
For me, it was the opposite. I think my expectation elevated.
You kind of knew what he had in mind. I didn't.
Yes,
know.
But I still had heard it. Like I still had. You still had, despite hearing all that, you still had preconceived notions about what was going to be in there.
Yeah.
And so it almost kind of elevated it. The opposite to me. It elevated it by being so different, because it's like, okay, this is not what I was expecting, but that almost kind of makes it cooler, because expectations, all they do is drag things down, man. Like, they really do. They do. Especially on the internet. You were talking earlier about like fucking Dave Mustaine and people want to say who's better than who and bullshit. Give me a fucking break. Your expectations of something and it not meeting those expectations should not be a negative. It shouldn't be, because who the fuck are you? Who are my expectations? Like, Kirk Hammett doesn't know who the fuck I am. Like, he doesn't care about what I expect out of his solo record. He doesn't care about what some douchebag on a message board or some comment section expects. Like, he's just creating art. That's it. And creating what he wants to create. Yeah. And that, in its own way, is really cool. That doesn't mean you have to like it, but the fact that it kind of, in a way, made me turn and go, whoa, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, it's
actually
definitely
a
not
good thing. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I was expecting galloping fucking
Galloping
metal riffs and they weren't there, so I hate you. I was like, no,
no, not at all.
I'm not saying you thought that way. I'm just saying,
yeah. It's just it kind of blew me off guard and what you know what you heard. So it good, solid, great. Make sure you guys listen to that either on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get music. Check it out, buy it if you want.
This is officially our longest segment ever, I think.
What does it say?
But we did react to an entire EP.
Entire EP. So hopefully you enjoy our reaction. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully you're still watching. We got more content coming your way. So here we go.